Feel for a moment the silent rhythm of your heart. It doesn't rush, it simply is. In this invitation to spirituality and self-knowledge, let's dive into presence. Have you ever felt the weight of an invisible urgency, as if life were an endless race? What if true peace and the meaning of life weren't in the future, but in the timelessness of now, waiting for your awakening of consciousness? This is your portal to dissolve that illusion and rediscover your essence. Many of us, on our journey of personal development, live in an incessant dance with the clock, seeking to solve life as if it were a problem to be fixed. But this often overwhelming feeling of haste and anxiety is frequently an illusion, a construct of the mind, and not an inherent quality of existence itself. It arises as a symptom of a deeper inner disconnection, a subtle drifting away from the eternal present. You are not alone in this quest. This urgency, which many perceive as a personal failure, is, in fact, a generalized social condition, an internalized cultural pressure to always achieve and accelerate. Recognizing this shared human experience establishes a deeper bond of empathy, paving the way for inner transformation and liberation from external conditioning. The incessant search for more achievements, more possessions, more time, paradoxically, distances us from the richness of the present moment, where true emotional healing and the wisdom of inner silence reside. The very act of seeking a better future, driven by this urgency, creates a vicious cycle. But the path forward is not to do more, but to be more, by shifting the focus from external pursuits to inner presence and reconnection with your soul. Anxiety and fear, deeply rooted in a linear perception of time, can hijack the experience of the eternal present. It feels like time is chasing you, that there's always a no time whispering in your mind, generating an anxiety that manifests in every fiber of your being. This linear view, often amplified by the demands of modern society, creates an illusion of scarcity and a constant pull towards a future that never fully arrives, or a past that refuses to let go. This is the essence of the hijacking of the eternal present. Ancient wisdom offers a profound perspective on this condition. Stoic masters, like Seneca, already reminded us that disturbance does not come from facts themselves, but from the interpretation we make of them. The tyranny, therefore, does not reside in time itself, but in the mind that clings to its linearity, projecting fears onto tomorrow and regrets onto yesterday. This suggests that tyranny is not an external force, but an internal construct, a product of conditioning and the mind's own interpretation. If a person feels hijacked from the present, it is because they allow an internal narrative about time to dominate their experience. The solution, then, is not to fight against time, but to transform the relationship with it, recognizing that the hijacking is, in fact, a matter of perception. You can imagine a rushing river that insists on flowing in a straight line, ignoring the curves and the beauty of the banks. This is the linear mind, which denies the natural fluidity of existence. This rigid adherence to linear time is intrinsically linked to the ego's identification with the past and the future, a concept widely explored by thinkers like Eckhart Tolle. This egoic mechanism is precisely what generates anxiety and suffering, culminating in the hijacking of the present. Detaching from this inflexible adherence to linear time becomes a crucial step towards the dissolution of the ego and, consequently, a profound reduction in anxiety and fear. What if the hurry you feel isn't a sign that you need to run faster, but an invitation to stop and question the very nature of the time you perceive? There is an antidote to this tyranny, a portal that has always been waiting, the now. It is not a fleeting moment, but the only point of reality, the eternal present where life truly unfolds. It is here, in this now, that the mind finds its true freedom, freeing itself from the shackles of the past and the projections of the future. Perennial philosophy, echoed by masters like Eckhart Tolle and Alan Watts, whispers that linear time is a construct of the mind. The essential reality, the timelessness of being, resides in the fullness of the present moment. This understanding elevates the now from a mere chronological point to a state of consciousness, a non-dual perception where the separation between observer and observed dissolves, freeing the mind from its own conditioned patterns. This means that being in the now is less about doing something and more about being present, a state of non-resistance and acceptance. This liberation is fundamentally an internal process, a freedom from mental anguish caused by living outside the present moment. Traditions like Buddhism, with its focus on suffering and impermanence, and Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on emotional lucidity, highlight that suffering arises from our attachment to mental constructs. The now serves as a portal to release these attachments, offering freedom from the mind's self-imposed prison, which is trapped in time. The now can be compared to the serene eye of a hurricane. While the chaos of linear time may swirl around it, at its center, there is an undisturbed quietude, a space of clarity and peace where true life reveals itself. If the peace we seek resides only in the now, what prevents us from fully inhabiting it, dissolving the illusions that pull us away? The incessant search for solving life often reveals itself as a subtle form of escape. Haste, frequently, is not a genuine necessity, but a silent evasion. We flee from the discomfort of the present, from the quietness that reveals shadows, from the vulnerability of simply being. The paradox lies in the fact that the very act of trying to solve life, as if it were a problem to be fixed, prevents the experience of its inherent completeness and beauty in the present. This is the broken expectation, the belief that more effort will bring peace, when in reality, it often generates more disconnection. It is vital to recognize that this haste is a real pain, an existential restlessness disguised as productivity. Often, we experience emotional exhaustion, spiritual isolation, or existential restlessness, even when everything seems right on the outside. This suggests that the race is not just about external demands, but an internal avoidance of deeper truths or unresolved emotions. By being constantly busy, we prevent confrontation with the inner landscape, where true healing and self-discovery happen. It is an invitation to consider what you might be running from, instead of just where you are running to. The soul is not in a hurry. It has rhythm. An incessant haste distances us from this natural rhythm, from our very essence. This sentence encapsulates the central misalignment. The idea of solving life reflects a predominant social narrative that life is a problem to be conquered, rather than an experience to be lived. The channel deliberately avoids empty promises or superficial spirituality and instant miracles, implicitly criticizing the quick-fix mentality that often fuels this haste. This paradox highlights the misalignment between social values, such as achievement and speed, and authentic spiritual well-being, which prioritizes presence, simplicity, and inner peace. The narrative subtly challenges these external narratives, inviting us to redefine success and resolution from an internal perspective, based on presence, aligning with the channel's emphasis on voluntary simplicity and real, silent, and lived spirituality in everyday life. You can imagine a traveler so obsessed with reaching the destination that they run without looking at the scenery, missing the beauty of the journey. Life is not a destination to be reached, but a dance to be lived in every step. If life is already happening now, complete in itself, what are you waiting for to live it, instead of trying to solve it? How to slow down when the world seems to spin so fast? The answer is not in stopping the world, but in cultivating a sanctuary of stillness within yourself. This involves embracing simple daily practices that align with the contemplative approach of the channel, emphasizing that it's not about doing more, but about being more present. One of the most accessible doors is conscious breathing. It's not about controlling, but about observing. By focusing on the inhale and exhale, attention anchors itself in the now, dissolving mental noise and bringing you back to the now. Allow yourself a moment of contemplation in nature. Observe a falling leaf, the movement of clouds, the persistence of a tree. Nature doesn't rush, it simply is, and by observing it, you align with its timeless rhythm. This underlines the interconnection of inner and outer silence. The channel emphasizes silence as a practice of truth, and contact with nature as a living expression of the sacred. This suggests that inner quietude is deeply linked to external environments that promote silence. Consciously engaging with nature allows one to mirror its inherent quietness and rhythm, which in turn deepens internal quietude. This creates a reciprocal relationship between the inner state and the outer world, reinforcing the idea that the sacred is not separate from everyday life. Practice inner listening. In moments of silence, ask yourself, what is my soul whispering now? Without judgment, just listening. It is in this silence that timelessness reveals itself. These practices are not meant to create a new state, but rather to perceive what is already inherently present. The channel's focus on awakening consciousness and reconnecting with the self implies that timelessness is not something to be achieved through effort, but something that is intrinsically part of being, only obscured by mental noise. The practices serve as a means to remove this veil, to shift consciousness back to what already exists. This perspective alleviates the pressure to do it right, and fosters a sense of inherent completeness, reminding us that the temple that dwells in the silence of the chest can be mirrored in the world around. Cultivating stillness is like lighting a silent candle in the darkness of your chest. It doesn't shout, it just illuminates, revealing the vast and timeless expanse that has always been there. What small pause can you create today to feel the pulse of timelessness that resides within you, beyond the rush of the clock? Now, elevate your vision and perceive timelessness not only within yourself, but in the very dance of the universe. The cosmos is in perpetual motion, and yet, each moment, each unfolding, is complete and perfect in itself. For the universe, there is no before or after, only an eternal now. As the teachings of Taoism reveal to us, wisdom lies in flowing with non-forcing, with the natural rhythm of all things. The universe doesn't rush to be. It simply is, in every instant, a complete and sacred expression of life. Buddha's teachings on suffering and impermanence also resonate deeply here. The dance of the eternal present inherently includes impermanence. Each moment is unique and then passes. However, if each moment is complete in itself, then impermanence is not a cause of suffering, as it often is in a linear view of time, which fears loss or change. Instead, it is the very mechanism through which the eternal present expresses its infinite creativity and renewal. This reframes impermanence from a source of anxiety to a beautiful and dynamic aspect of existence. This understanding helps embrace change and flow as natural parts of the timeless current, reducing the fear of the unknown and fostering acceptance. Often, one feels lonely or in search of a deep meaning. By framing the eternal present as a universal dance, understanding elevates beyond individual practice, fostering a cosmic connection. This reveals that the personal journey to timelessness is not an isolated effort, but an alignment with the fundamental nature of reality itself. This perspective can alleviate feelings of isolation and provide a profound sense of belonging within a larger, timeless order. Personal peace in the present becomes a reflection of universal harmony, making the spiritual journey less daunting and more intrinsically connected. Imagine the universe as an infinite cosmic dance, where each step is a unique instant, complete in itself. There is no better step in the future, nor a lost step in the past. There is only the perfection of the present movement, the choreography of existence unfolding. Every breath, every thought, every emotion is a step in this sacred dance. You are not broken. You are in transformation. And this transformation happens at the perfect rhythm of the eternal present. If the universe dances without haste, in an eternal present, what prevents you from surrendering to this same dance, trusting in the completeness of every instant of your own life? We have walked a path that leads beyond the tyranny of the clock, to the heart of timelessness that pulses within each one of us. The peace you seek is not in tomorrow, but in kindness with the now, in the silent listening of the soul. This synthesis reinforces that the path to peace is an internal change, not an external achievement. What if the urgency you feel today is, in fact, a disguised portal, an invitation from the soul for you to surrender to the natural rhythm of life, finding peace in the timelessness of your own being? This question recontextualizes suffering as an opportunity. The channel's mission emphasizes that healing and expansion are possible even in the most challenging moments, and that not all pain is punishment. Some are invitations. This redefines the very source of discomfort, urgency, as a catalyst for profound spiritual growth, transforming what is perceived as negative into a path to awakening. This perspective empowers, transforming struggle into a path, fostering hope and agency in the spiritual journey. To anchor this truth deeply in your heart, an invitation for a small practice. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe deeply, feeling the air enter and exit without rush. As you exhale, visualize the haste dissolving like mist. As you inhale, feel timelessness expand in your chest, like a calm and serene light. Repeat 3 times, feeling the stillness that settles. This practice is not merely a compliment. It is the culmination of the entire narrative, allowing you to experience the dissolution of urgency and the presence of timelessness, instead of just understanding them intellectually. It serves as a bridge between the conceptual and the experiential, reinforcing the channel's commitment to practical and lived spirituality. This tangible learning encourages continuous engagement with the teachings, fostering a sense of immediate transformation. If something within you calmed down or awakened upon hearing these words, allow yourself to continue. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to walk with us on this road of fertile silence, discoveries, and reconnection. Leave your experience in the comments. Your sharing is also a seed of healing for other hearts. And to continue expanding this field of presence, we suggest the video in the card. May it be a gentle breath on your journey. Peace and light.